Welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose and this is my review for Transformers 1, the animated film for popular IP Transformers. I'm a big fan of Transformers. I grew up on Transformers. I remember the original cartoon, of course, back in the day, and I had the movie where Optimus Prime died, and that led to the comic books and maybe books, I don't know, whatever, and more animated series, and of course led down the road to the Michael Bay, live action Transformers films. The first one's okay. I like parts of the third, and the rest of them are pretty much crap, with the exception of I really like Bumblebee. I thought the Bumblebee was probably the best one because go figure, it wasn't directed by Michael Bay. But that wasn't a true Transformers film per se. I was really just focused on Bumblebee, which is a cool character, one of the good things that came out of the Michael Bay films. So I was curious about this, if they can kind of bring this property back to respectability, the animated film. Okay, why not? And I learned that this was more about when Megatron and Optimus Prime were actual friends. This comes like an origin story, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I wasn't sure where they were going with this. Now this one he's got a great voice cast. We got Chris Hemsworth, who's playing Prime. Well, before I'll get to that in a second. But you got John Hamm's in this, Scarlett Johansson, Buscemi, who I think who voices Bumblebee. And this one here again, this is a true origin to the Transformers, story. Like I said, I'm not sure this was told in the same way in other shows or novels. I'm not deep into the lore, just like the animated shows when I was growing up, how all the toys and all that good stuff. I mean, come on now. Robots transforming into cars and planes. Come on, man. What's not to like here? But this one again focuses on the beginnings of this, I guess, story, right? Where we have Optimus Prime. Before he was Optimus Prime, he had a different name, and Megatron was actually D13, something like that. Bumblebee was B105. I don't know, whatever name they gave him. And they were minors, and they weren't even able to transform. This is Cybertron is needs the energon. If you're also familiar with the lore of Transformers, energon's what gives them their energy, and they have to mine for it because the matrix of leadership is missing, which really helped the flow of energon and on Cybertron. So, but Optimus Prime or whatever his name is, I forget his name in the movie. But he is now kind of a dreamer, and he's has aspirations of doing more and just being a mining robot who can't transform. There's more to him than meets the eye. Of course, I had to throw out a stupid pun in there. So he sets forth to try to find the matrix of leadership for himself. We got one of the leaders of Cybertron, one of the primes, who's trying to find it to save the planet. And so he decides he's gonna put in his 10 cents and see if he can find it and help his fellow robots and all that. And of course he takes his best friend at the time before it became Megatron with them, and they partner up with a couple other robots, and they go on this adventure to try to find, of course, the matrix of leadership and discover a dark, sinister plan that's been there all along. And initially, when the first the first 10-15 minutes, I was like, okay, and I figured this was going to be more of a kids film, and I was kind of right. I was like, okay, it's some funny moments. I was laughing, particularly one pretty funny scene in the beginning, and I was like, okay, this really may not be my kind of film. Maybe I'm not the demographic. But after the first 25 minutes, it kind of settles in. And I was like, okay, this is not just a kid's film. This is a true Transformers film, and a really good origin story, which overall I thought really hit well. This is, for me, the best Transformers thing we've seen on the big screen. I really like this film. It's really, really good. I'm really happy to be able to come out of theater and tell you people that, yeah, man, do you want a good Transformers movie, animated or not? This is it, right? This was kind of like some people comparing it to Into Spider-Verse. I wouldn't go that far, but in terms of really giving us a great story, animated film to a property we've already known, and at the time when Sony was kind of struggling with it, come out with something great. This does the same thing for Paramount in terms of the Transformers and bringing this back to form, right? And I love the story here. Like, I was thinking, okay, how they're gonna spin these guys who are really best friends into what we know of Megatron, Optimus Prime. We've seen the movies and the cartoons and et cetera, et cetera. They did a really good job of laying that groundwork, right? Well, ultimately, as this is an origin story, it leads you right into what we know of the Transformers, what we've known and grown to love, right? Where these two friends are now become enemies, and the reasonings behind it was really well done. And the motivations behind what Megatron, why he became who he was. He was someone you rooted for, and then things occur to make him change into what we kind of know Megatron now. I really like that, how Prime, becomes Optimus Prime. all that was really cool. Some really cool action sequences, particularly that third act, which was the final fight was pretty badass and really cool moments. I really enjoyed it. Some really fun. Bumblebee steals the show. I think Buscemi, like I said, voices him. He was really good. Some really standout moments. He was chewing up the scenery. Chris Hemsworth, of course, voicing Prime. We had Scarlett Johansson, John Hamm in this. Like I said, pretty big cast. Lawrence Fishburne, some great voice works, and everything really hits. I like the animation, a little bit more unique, a little more CGI than something that's Into the Spider-Verse was. It appeared more stylistic. This was a little more typical, but still had his own style too, and I really like that. Really good adventure, a lot of fun, and did a good job of balancing between, there's going to be no adults seeing this film and the kids who probably want to go out and see this movie in droves, and really balancing that kind of the family line, right? Where, again, after a while it does settle in. I was forgetting I was watching a kids film. It became more of an adult film that's kid friendly, and that's what really, for me, animated films really do well. So Pixar does well, right? They do really films for people who are older that are kid friendly. That the themes in Pixar are more related to adults. I'm not saying this movie is something like that, but in terms of the tone and the humor, what it balances, it does equal up to that. And I really enjoyed this. This is one I was really surprised about. I really definitely want to see it again. Again, the best Transformers I've seen on film by far. Really enjoyable. Go to the theaters when it comes out. I think it's a month from now. This is a pretty early screening. Go check it out. A lot of fun. Great time if you're a Transformers fan. You will not be disappointed. I'd be surprised if you are disappointed. That being said, if you guys do watch it, comment below. Let me know what you guys think of it. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.